Welcome to my channel. My name's Adeana. I'm an intuitive astrologer. In this video, I will be going over the chart and the energy for the new moon in Aries that we are having April 17th, 2026. This one's really important. This is technically our new year, new moon for, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. And so this is our new moon in Aries to really set intentions, not just for the next 6 months, but for the next zodiacal year, especially with all the energy that we are in now. This is dynamic times. And so let's get right into it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you align with my energy and enjoy my content. For the first portion of the video, we will discuss the new moon. And then for the second portion of the video, we will get into all 12 rising signs. And I will have timestamps listed below so that you can skip ahead to your sign. So let's get right into it. So let's start by getting into the energy for this new moon. This is not a subtle reset. This is ignition. This is initiation. This is the kind of sky that doesn't ask for permission. It demands movement, truth, and courage, because that is exactly what Aries energy is. We are working with a powerful Aries stellium, activating literally the archetype of the self. And at the time of this new moon, we have Mercury, Mars, Saturn, and Neptune all in Aries. And this concentrates an enormous amount of pressure and focus into one area of life, which signifies identity, action, and the courage to begin again, the courage to start a reset, start a brand new rebirth. This new moon is actually forming a conjunction to Chiron, which immediately tells us this is not just about starting something new, it's about confronting the wound that has made you hesitant to start in the first place. Chiron in Aries exposes where you have doubted your right to exist fully as yourself, where you've held back your voice or your desires, your instincts, maybe out of fear or rejection or failure, or maybe because you don't feel good enough. This new moon can definitely trigger and activate healing, and that will show up for each and every one of us differently. Then we also have Mars, which is the ruler of this new moon, in its home sign of Aries, which is strong, direct, unapologetic, but it is approaching the conjunction to Saturn. And this is where raw impulse meets reality. This is where desire meets discipline. This is where the universe asks you, are you serious about the life that you want? This is going to show up for each and every one of us differently, but it's intense. This is both malefic planets. This is Saturn, the planet of discipline, responsibility, limitation, challenge, meeting up with Mars, which is the planet of action, initiation, impulsiveness, also anger, aggression, and conflict. So, with everything going on in the world, this is a little bit concerning. Which, if you watch other astrologers, a lot of them have been really talking about this. Over the next 2 weeks, there could be a lot that we are seeing as far as world events go. But in our own lives, this can show up as really having to address where we are coming short in our lives, like maybe where we are not giving it our all, maybe where we are slacking for one reason or another. And the conjunction to Chiron can initiate and activate the change and the healing that needs to take place because maybe it's been holding you back in some way. Whatever is activated with this new moon is to bring something front and center to your awareness so that you can become aware of it, so that you can truly heal and move through whatever's been blocking you and get to the other side to start a brand new cycle, a brand new rebirth, a brand new reset. Now, the highest expression of this Mars conjunction to Saturn and Aries can be mastery. It could be the ability to take bold control. It could be the ability to take bold action with strategy, patience, and long term vision. And this is how empires are truly built. So, this is how you can commit yourself to in a way that truly is sustainable. However, the shadow expression here can be feeling very frustrated, There, like I said, there could be blockages showing up, anger, aggression, kind of coming out of nowhere, irritability, impatience. You may feel like you're pushing forward, but hitting invisible walls. It's like these blocks keep coming up, and then that causes frustration. It could be limitation, right? Like you're feeling like you've reached a limit, like there's no pushing past here. However, it's a block that you have to either heal from or push through. And once you get to the other side, it's that Saturn energy. There's beautiful gifts on that other side, right? And just remember that it's not failure, it's refinement. Saturn is not denying you, Saturn is restructuring you. Saturn wants us to take accountability, take responsibility for whatever it is that we are trying to build in our lives and for our lives in general. Then we also have Mars forming a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius. And so this is power. This is transformation. This is the ability to align your actions with a deeper, almost faded level of purpose. Pluto in Aquarius is asking you to evolve something, to step into a version of yourself that contributes to something bigger than your ego. Mars is giving you the courage to actually do something about that and take action and move forward. This sextile can be an opportunity, but it does require conscious engagement. You have to, with sextiles, we have to consciously take action. If you lean into this, you can make powerful strategic moves that shift your trajectory long term. But if you don't, it can feel like restless intensity without direction. So it is something to be a bit cautious of. And then let's get into Neptune and Aries because that's still a pretty interesting new energy that we're in. And so Neptune and Aries can be dissolving the old identity while simultaneously inspiring a new vision of who you could become, right? That's part of this Neptune and Aries energy. Aries is the energy of identity, individuality. Neptune is dissolving what we once labeled ourselves as and recreating that in our own ways. Well, and not just it's on an individual level, but a collective level too. We're going to see countries just completely change as well over the next decade. However, this is where Neptune, though, can make things really confusing, especially if you're not grounded. Now, the higher expression of Neptune in Aries being activated can be visionary courage, right? The ability to act on a dream that maybe hasn't fully materialized yet. However, the shadow side can be delusion, impulsivity without clarity. And so this could be chasing something that necessarily isn't rooted in truth, but illusion. And so the strategy for this new moon with all these activations is to move, but move with intention. Act, but act with awareness. Feel the fire, but don't let it burn recklessly, right? We want to make sure we are navigating this consciously. This new moon is asking you to rebuild your identity from the inside out, not based on who you've been told to be, but based on who you know you are. That is what this Aries energy is all about. So, some things that we want to watch for is, like I mentioned, major war events. This is Aries. We want to remember that Mars is at home in Aries and Saturn is at fall in Aries. And so Mars is overpowering Saturn at the moment. So with this conjunction and this buildup, like we're feeling the buildup to Mars. I'm recording this on April 13th. We're in the energy now because Mars is moving closer to Saturn. They're going to connect exactly on the 19th, 2 days after this new moon. And then we will feel the energy even a week after. So we're kind of in this energy for about 2 weeks. There's like a buildup, and then there is like a snap, which is like, I would say the 17th, 18th, and 19th. And then there is the aftermath, which is going to be next week. So we just, like I always say, when you are consciously aware of these energies, you can navigate them with, a lot better because it's not like you're walking in blindly to something. You are aware of the energy that we're in. And so you're navigating it very consciously. All right. Well, let's get into all 12 rising signs so that you can see how this energy is showing up for you on a personal level. Aries, this new moon is deeply personal for you. This new moon is happening in your first house of identity, body, and personal direction. And this is one of the most defining resets you've experienced in years with all of this energy in the first house. With the new moon conjunct Chiron in your first house, this is a direct confrontation with wounds around self worth, confidence, and your right to take up space. This is where you begin to see clearly how much of your identity has been shaped by past rejection, criticism, or moments where you felt like being yourself wasn't safe. But here's the reality, this isn't comfortable. This may feel like vulnerability, like exposure, like you're being seen in ways that you can't control. But this is exactly where your power is. With Mars forming in conjunction to Saturn in your first house just a couple days after this new moon, you are being asked to grow up energetically. This is where you stop reacting and start leading your life with discipline and intention. You are learning how to regulate your impulses, how to commit to yourself, how to build something real with your identity instead of constantly reinventing it out of survival. The highest expression of this energy, Aries, is self mastery. You become someone who trusts themselves, who moves with purpose, who doesn't need external validation to take action. However, the shadow expression of this energy is frustration with yourself, feeling like you're not enough, or not ready, or not moving fast enough. You might feel blocked, restricted, or overly critical. But this is Saturn refining you, not rejecting you. And with Mars forming a sextile to Pluto, this is activating your 11th house. There's a powerful opportunity to step into leadership within your community, your audience, your future vision. The action you take now has ripple effects. Aries, just remember that you are not here to play small anymore, but you do need to move with intention and awareness. Taurus, you have this new moon happening in your 12th house. This is a deeply internal, spiritual, and emotional reset for you. With the new moon conjunct Chiron here, you are being asked to confront subconscious wounds, patterns, and fears that you may not even fully understand yet. This is where self sabotage becomes visible. This is where your avoidance patterns rise to the surface. There may be a desire to withdraw, to isolate, to process everything alone behind the scenes. And some of that is necessary, but the key here is awareness. Now, we also have the Mars Saturn conjunction in your 12th house, and this is about discipline when it has to do with your inner world. This is not about external action, this is about internal responsibility. You cannot run from yourself right now. Now, the highest expression of this energy is deep healing, release, and spiritual clarity. You begin to understand yourself on a level that changes everything. However, the shadow side of this energy that we have to be aware of is escapism and numbing out, avoiding, or getting lost in fear or confusion. Now, we also have Mars forming a sextile, which is activating your 10th house. And this is what you're doing internally is directly shaping your external success, which is interesting. There could be some type of opportunity here for deep transformation in your public life or within your career when you change something internally with yourself. It's almost like you're preparing for a major rebirth, but you have to clear and heal what's been hidden behind the scenes and deep within internally. Gemini, you have this new moon in your 11th house of future goals, community, and long term vision, friendship, social circles. With Chiron here, there's wounds surfacing around belonging. You may be questioning where you fit, who your people are, or whether your vision is truly supported. But this isn't about fitting in, it's about aligning. Mars and Saturn here are asking you to take your future seriously. This is not just dreaming, this is building something sustainable. You are being asked to commit to your goals, to show up consistently, and to create something sustainable within your network or audience. The highest expression of this new moon energy for you, Gemini, is powerful collaboration and aligned community. But the shadow expression can be feeling rejected or disconnected, or trying to force yourself into spaces that aren't truly aligned with who you are. Now, also, we have the Mars sextile to Pluto, which is in your ninth house. Your mindset is transforming in some way. This could be something about your beliefs that are transforming, or something about limiting beliefs that have been holding you back or blocking you in some way are finally being released, healed, and you are finally letting those go. It could be a transcendence of some kind. But whatever is happening now, whatever is triggered, whatever is activated, it's almost like whatever you choose now will shape your entire future trajectory. So, this is a time to choose expansion and choose alignment. Be intentional with awareness. Cancer, you have this new moon energy in your 10th house. This is the house of career and visibility, your public identity, your public image. This is a major professional reset for you, but it comes with vulnerability. Chiron here is exposing wounds around being seen, recognized, and being taken seriously. You may feel like you're being pushed into visibility before you feel ready. We also have the Mars Saturn conjunction, which could be demanding discipline within your career. This is about long term commitment, structure, and leadership. And so the highest expression of this new moon energy is building something lasting and impactful, consciously and intentionally with awareness. We're very much in this energy that you have to be aware and intentional. And the shadow expression can be doing something out of fear or feeling like a failure, burnout, or feeling overwhelmed by responsibility. We also have Mars forming a sextile to Pluto in your eighth house. So there's some deep transformation happening in your relationship to power, money, and control. There could be some type of transformation taking place too with the money that you make within your career. So, yeah, I would say whatever intentions you're setting at this time, just make sure you're being very intentional with what you want. You're working with Pluto in the eighth house, which could be very magnetic energy. So, this is a time where you truly can draw in some type of powerful resources, but we have to just make sure that we are intentional and we have that awareness. This is you stepping into authority, but you have to own it first. So it's how you feel on the inside is going to really show what you can bring in on the outside. Leo, this new moon is activating your ninth house of expansion, belief systems, higher learning, and the direction your life is actually moving toward. This is not just about external growth. This is about a complete recalibration of what you believe is possible for yourself. This new moon is conjunct Chiron in your ninth house. So there's a deep wound being activated around trust in your path. This can look like questioning your purpose or feeling disconnected from your direction, or even confronting past experiences where you felt like you followed a path that didn't truly align with who you are. This is where disillusionment becomes clarity, especially if you're willing to face it honestly. Now, Mars and Saturn in the ninth house is asking you to get serious about your growth. This is not jumping from idea to idea or chasing inspiration without grounding it. This is about committing to a path, whether that's education, teaching, content creation, spiritual development, or stepping into a leadership role where your voice actually guides others. Now, the highest expression of this new moon energy is embodied wisdom. You becoming someone who doesn't just talk about expansion, but you live it consistently with discipline. However, the shadow expression can be feeling lost or stuck or disconnected from your purpose. You may feel blocked from moving forward or frustrated that things aren't unfolding as quickly as you want. But again, this is Saturn refining your path, not denying it. Now, with Mars forming a sextile to Pluto here in your seventh house, this has to do with your relationship. Your relationships are becoming catalysts for transformation. It's almost like the people you align with now will either expand you or expose where you're still playing small. And so, Leo, you are being asked to choose alignment over control at this time. Virgo, welcome to your new moon forecast. You have this new moon in your eighth house. The eighth house rules transformation, intimacy, shared resources, and psychological depth. And this is one of the most intense activations you could experience. Now, this new moon is conjunct Chiron. There may be deep wounds surfacing around trust, control, vulnerability, and emotional safety. This is where you may realize how much you've been protecting yourself from being fully seen or fully connected, whether in relationships, finances, or emotional intimacy. This is not surface level healing. Like, this is deep. We also have the Mars and Saturn conjunction in the eighth house, which is asking you to face what you fear. This could be you needing to confront your attachments, your control patterns, or your avoidance of vulnerabilities. The highest expression of this new moon energy is truly empowerment through transformation. This is where you reclaim your power by surrendering what no longer serves you. But the shadow expression can be resistance, trying to control outcomes, shutting down emotionally, or avoiding necessary change. We also have Mars forming a sextile to Pluto here in your sixth house, which is your daily habits, routines, work environment. So there's something about your daily routine that is directly tied to whatever transformation is taking place in the eighth house. The way you show up every day is either supporting your evolution or keeping you stuck in some way. So that can very much come to your awareness over the next week or so. Virgo, you are being asked to do the inner work and back it up with real, consistent action on a day to day basis. Libra, you have this new moon in your seventh house of relationships, partnerships, and how you meet others. This is a major turning point for you when it comes to relationships. This new moon is conjunct Chiron. And so there may be wounds around relationships that are surfacing at this time. This can look like patterns of overgiving or people pleasing or losing yourself in others, or even attracting dynamics that mirror your own unhealed self worth. And so this is where you begin to see clearly how your relationships have been shaped by your wounds. Now, we also have a Mars Saturn conjunction here in the seventh house 2 days after this new moon, which is bringing seriousness and accountability into your connections. This is where relationships are tested. Some may deepen into committed partnerships, but only if they are built on truth. Others may face necessary endings. And so that's something that's really going to come to your awareness at this time. The foundations of your relationships are going to become very clear. Now, the highest expression of this new moon energy is balanced, mature, and reciprocal partnerships. But the shadow expression is conflict, restriction, or feeling like you're carrying the weight of the relationships on your own. Now, we also have Mars forming a sextile to Pluto here in your fifth house. There is a powerful transformation happening in your self expression and your ability to choose joy. The question is, are you choosing relationships that allow you to be fully yourself? Because that's what this moon is asking you, and that's what this moon is going to make very notable. Scorpio, you have this new moon in your sixth house of daily routines, work, health, and the systems that support your life. This new moon is actually conjunct Chiron. So there's wounds surfacing around productivity, self worth, and how you show up in your day to day life. You may be realizing where you've tied your value to how much you do, or where you've been overworking to prove something. This is where burnout patterns become very visible. We also have the Mars Saturn conjunction here in the sixth house a couple days after this new moon, which is demanding structure, discipline, and responsibility. This is not about doing more, it's about doing better, building routines that are sustainable, aligned, and supportive of your long term well being. And so the highest expression of this new moon energy can be mastery of your day to day life and routines, but the lower expression could be burnout, perfectionism, or harsh self criticism. And so it is something to be a bit cautious of. We also have Mars forming a sextile to Pluto, which is activating your fourth house here. So there's something about your home environment and your emotional foundations that are deeply connected to your ability to function on a day to day life. If your inner world is unstable, your outer systems will reflect that. So you're being asked at this time, Scorpio, to rebuild your life from the ground up, starting with your daily habits. Sagittarius, you have this new moon in Aries in your fifth house of creativity, self expression, romance, and joy. Now, this new moon is conjunct Chiron. So there's a wound around being seen. There may be wounds coming to the surface around being seen or expressing yourself freely or allowing yourself to create without fear of judgment or rejection. So you may realize how much you've been holding back your authenticity at this time. We also have the Mars Saturn conjunction in the fifth house, which is asking you to take your creativity seriously. This is not just about inspiration, it's about discipline, commitment, and showing up consistently for what you love. The highest expression of this new moon energy is confidence, authentic self expression that you build into something real. The shadow expression, though, could be fear of rejection, it could be creative blocks or suppressing your joy in some way. We also have Mars forming a sextile to Pluto here in your third house. And so there's something about your voice that is transforming, whether it's the way you communicate, share, or express your ideas. There's something very powerful about your voice at this time. This is where the universe is asking you to stop hiding and start creating from a place of truth. Capricorn, you have this new moon in your fourth house of home, family, and emotional foundation. Now, this new moon is conjunct Chiron, so there may be deep wounds around safety, belonging, and emotional security coming to the surface at this time. This can relate to family dynamics, childhood patterns, or your relationship with stability itself. This is where your foundation is being rebuilt. Now, we also have the Mars Saturn conjunction in the fourth house, which is asking you to take responsibility for your inner world. This is about emotional maturity, boundaries, and creating a home environment that actually supports you. Now, the higher expression of this new moon energy is stability and grounding and emotional strength. But the shadow expression can be emotional suppression, conflict, or feeling weighed down by responsibility. We also have Mars forming a sextile to Pluto here in your second house, which is your sense of self worth and financial stability. There's something about that that is directly tied to your foundation. So, Capricorn, you are being asked to create security from within at this time, not chase it externally. Aquarius, you have this new moon in Aries in your third house of communication, mindset, and environment. Now, this new moon is conjunct Chiron, so there may be wounds around your voice, your ideas, or the ability to express yourself clearly coming to the surface at this time. You may realize where you've held back your truth out of fear of maybe being misunderstood or judged. We also have the Mars Saturn conjunction in the third house, which is asking you to speak with intention, to communicate with clarity and discipline and purpose. Now, the higher expression of this new moon energy is confidence, impactful communication. The shadow expression can be self doubt, though, or overthinking, or you shutting down. Now, we also have Mars here forming a sextile to Pluto in your first house, which is deeply personal. Your identity is transforming, and your voice is a key part of that. And so, Aquarius, you are being asked to own your perspective and truly stand by that. Pisces, you have this new moon in your second house of money, self worth, and personal values. Now, this new moon is conjunct Chiron, so there may be wounds surfacing around worthiness, what you deserve, what you're allowed to have, and how you value yourself. This may be showing up through finances, but it goes much deeper than that. We also have the Mars Saturn conjunction here in your second house, which is asking you to take your value seriously. This is about building stability, creating structure around your finances, and making decisions that reflect your self worth. Now, the higher expression of this new moon energy is long term security and confidence in your value. The lower expression, however, is scarcity mindset or fear or undervaluing yourself in some way. Now, we also have Mars here forming a sextile to Pluto, which is activating your 12th house. So there is deep subconscious transforming going on at this time. It's like the beliefs that you hold about yourself, especially the ones that you're not fully aware of, are shaping your reality. And so you are being asked to rewrite those beliefs. This is where your value truly begins, Pisces.